This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.
You ever look back on something that a younger version of you did and you just want to slap the hell out of her? Let me tell you about one of those stories for me. So, picture it. I was about 14 years old and I was a complete and total band geek. I played trumpet, by the way, because it's the coolest instrument. And I had a crush on one of the boys that was in band. So, I thought it would be a brilliant idea to play one of my songs that I've been learning and also like try to dance and play at the same time. And of course, I was not watching where I was going, what I was doing, managed to trip and go falling downhill, trumpet and all. So I'm telling you the story because today I wanted to talk to you about signs that you are trying too hard in this dating game. So, welcome to Confidently Cherished. If it's your first time watching or listening, my name is Keshia Rice, and I am a dating coach and hypnotherapist. I help ambitious women learn how to overcome their unhealthy relationship patterns so that they can attract healthy relationships without compromising their identity, their values, or their sanity. So, let's talk about these signs that you are trying way too hard in a relationship. The first sign that you are trying too hard is that you are feeling burnt out. Dating should be an enjoyable experience. Like, yes, sometimes you will go on bad dates. Sometimes you will get in a relationship, and after a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you'll realize that it's not aligned. But in general, the process of going out there, meeting new people, having conversations, being curious about another person, and really just taking the time to get to know someone should be enjoyable. If you are at the point where you are putting so much pressure on yourself, and you feel like your clock is ticking, you have to do all of these things to be in a relationship right now, and that is causing you to feel burnt out, you need to take a step back. Instead of pushing harder, you need to take a step back, spend some time by yourself, and take a break from dating until you feel like you can approach it again from a calmer, more peaceful manner. Now, the second sign that you are trying too hard in these dating streets is that your other relationships are suffering. The most attractive thing that you can do when it comes to dating and finding the right partner is have your own life. You want to be a balanced person who is interesting, who has interesting stories to tell. And in order for that to be the case, you have to do other things than go out on dates. You have to cultivate your other relationships too. So if you're at a point where you are dating so much that you now no longer see your friends or you no longer spend time with your family because you're too busy trying to find your husband, then you are doing it wrong. When I was single, I used to always split my weekends. I made sure that one day of the weekend was set aside for dating, and the other day of the weekend was set aside for time with family and friends. And if a guy tried to go out with me on my friends and family day, the answer was a no. It makes you more appealing because, again, you have your own life. It makes you more attractive. And also, it helps you to keep perspective in mind because it's very easy to get caught up and be so involved in, trying to find Mr. Right that you forget that there are other parts of your life as well. The third sign that you are trying too hard in relationships and in dating is that your self esteem takes a dive. Look, even though dating should be enjoyable and fun, it is not always easy. And, rejection does happen, especially if you are really putting yourself out there, if you are going out a lot, if you are doing a lot of online dating. Yeah, you'll get rejected sometimes. It happens. But If you have a healthy outlook and healthy perspective of dating, then you know that all that rejection means is that you are getting closer to finding the person who is right for you. If you start to take that personally when it doesn't work out with someone, then you are putting too much pressure on the dating process. And again, you should take a step back. The fourth sign is that you are unclear in what you want in a partner. So if you are dating too often, and there is a such thing. So don't get me wrong, I have no problem with rotational dating, dating more than one person at a time until you find somebody that you're willing to commit to. In fact, I recommend it. But there are limits. If you are going on so many dates with so many different types of people, um, and just giving everyone a shot, you start to suffer from the paradox of choice. Like, have you ever been to a restaurant that had a really, really long menu, like a Cheesecake Factory, for example? And because of that, it is harder to decide on what you want to eat because there's so many choices. Same thing with dating. If you were on 50 million different apps and you are just accepting dates with everyone who asks you, you're meeting all these different people and it's going to start confusing you about what it is that you really want in a relationship. You want to be very intentional about who you choose to go out with and also the method in which you meet them. You want to be intentional about if you're using a matchmaker, then like really placing your faith in that matchmaker. If you are using dating apps, you want to keep it to a select, maybe two apps, maybe three tops. And you want to be intentional about why you chose those apps. If you are going to all these different events just to meet someone, then you want to be selective about the events you go to and really know the type of crowd that you're going to encounter while you're there. And finally, the fifth sign that you are trying too hard in dating is that you are really picky about how you meet someone. You know, I see this so often with my clients in my Confidently Cherished program that oftentimes they will meet someone online and then they want their partner to lie about how they met because meeting online, meeting on the app doesn't seem romantic enough. Or, they'll refuse online dating altogether because they don't want that to be the story of how they met. Look, if you are truly committed to being in a relationship, to finding that happily ever after with someone, then who cares how you met? I know that society and romantic comedies have us all convinced that we need to have this whole meet cute thing where, I don't know, you and the person both reach for the same vegetable at the grocery store and then fall in love and get married and have two kids and a dog. And if that ends up being your story, that is beautiful and that is great. But the most exciting thing about life in general is being open to how anything good comes into our life. I want God to surprise me and bring things to me in new, in different, and exciting ways. I want to be able to say, wow, I didn't see that coming. And you should be the same way, especially when it comes to dating. Allow, allow life to surprise you, but at the same time, yes, be intentional about exploring different ways, exploring different options. See yourself volunteering or going online or using a matchmaker, anything that you choose to help you find your partner. See it as a new adventure and something that you can get curious about. Something that even if it doesn't work out, you can say at least you tried it. So, again, these are the five signs that you are trying too hard in relationships. And if you can think of any other signs, feel free to share them with me. If you're watching, then you can post a comment. And if you are listening, then I am on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Keshia Rice, KeshiaRice. Talk to you soon. Love you so much.
Hey there. So you made it all the way to the end of the episode, which means I have two things to say. One, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And two, you like me. You really like me. So I would appreciate it if you would show that like by subscribing to this podcast so that more people can hear about it and enjoy it as much as you do. And if you want to know more about any of the links that I mentioned on this episode or any guests that I've had, be sure to go to KeshiaRice.com/links. That's KeshiaRice.com/links. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. So see you then.